Moving to Las Vegas in 2026? Watch this first. Starting on April 1st, 2026, your Las Vegas power bill is going to change, and it could cost you an extra $240 to $450 a year. This is just one example of the things that you're going to need to know before moving to Las Vegas that most people miss. So today, I'm going to walk you through 6 important things that will affect your budget, your comfort, and your neighborhood choice. If you're planning on moving here, this video can save you a lot of money and a lot of stress. So, first things first, the Las Vegas heat. You've heard me talk about it before, and I'm not going to stop because it's important that you understand utilities and home efficiency when you're relocating to the desert. The first thing you're going to want to know is that the Las Vegas summers are pretty intense. We're talking about temperatures regularly pushing past 110 degrees. In 2025, we hit 112 degrees on July 14th and August 12th. Those weren't even unusual days. That's just summer in the desert. The average temperatures for July reach around 105 degrees during peak daytime hours, making it consistently one of the hottest months of the year. Now, does that mean that you'll be stuck inside for 3 months? Not completely, but it does mean that you need to plan ahead. So personally, I live my life by strategy. I plan my whole day around the heat for the most part. Showings, errands, and playdates. I try my best to do all of that before 1 p.m. because that's when it gets super hot. After that, I'm relying on services like Instacart for groceries and staying inside with the AC on. You adapt, and honestly, most people here do the same thing. How efficient your home is going to make a big difference when it comes to handling the summer heat. Newer homes usually come with better HVAC systems rated SEER 16 to 18, modern insulation that meets current codes, and efficient windows and smart thermostats. So I recently had a family of 5 buy a 5-ton SEER 18 system. They paid $2,800 for that than a regular system, but now they save an average of $550 a year on their energy bills. Over the system's 15 to 20 year lifespan, that extra investment is going to pay itself off multiple times. Older homes, especially those built before 2000s, often have single pane windows, old insulation, and HVAC systems that are way past their prime. So if you're buying an older house, well, they may offer a little bit more yard space and fantastic charm. You just want to budget for those additional expenses from maybe $5,000 to $12,000 to upgrade the HVAC system and add extra insulation. That's not going to completely eliminate your cooling costs, but it will help you lower the difference between peak and regular costs, which usually adds up to about $100 to $600 a year, if not thousands. Now, here's the big change that I had mentioned. Starting in April 1st, 2026, NV Energy is adding a daily demand charge for residential customers in Southern Nevada. This will be based on your highest 15 minutes of energy usage during the day at 14 cents per kilowatt. NV Energy expects that this will add around $20 a month to your average bill, but if you're using 5 to 6 kilowatts during your peak hours, you could end up paying $27 to $38 extra a month. Here's my advice. Before you close on your home, talk to NV Energy about their equal pay programs. This plan lets you lock in a steady rate throughout the year based on your average usage. And let me tell you about something else. People often overlook the direction their home faces, and it can seriously affect your cooling costs. Homes that face west get a ton of afternoon sun, which means a ton of afternoon heat. East-facing homes get sun in the morning, but they cool off in the afternoon, which is going to make a huge difference on how your home feels overall. And this is where the HOA, which we're going to talk about in a bit, becomes really important because the rules to your community can affect how much shade you can add or what kind of landscaping you can do to help with that heat. Stick around. Now, if you can, try to go for a home that faces north or south to avoid getting too much sun on the walls. I actually know someone who built a house with no windows on the west side, which sounds totally extreme, but it shows how seriously some people take this stuff. Who needs natural light when you're worried about high electricity bills? I do. I'll pay the electricity bills. I need the natural light, but I'm just saying. Now, let's talk about pools. In a place like Las Vegas, pools add about 5 to 8% to the value of the home. For a $500,000 house, that's an extra $25,000 to $40,000. Homeowners usually only get back about 50 to 60% of the cost it is to install a pool when they sell, and the yearly maintenance can cost about $1,200 to $1,800. Here's one thing that is for certain. Pools will make your home more attractive to buyers, and they do tend to sell faster in neighborhoods where pools are very common. In Las Vegas, having a pool could be the thing that convinces a buyer to choose your home. These efficiency factors aren't totally about comfort. They're about controlling the second biggest housing cost after your mortgage. Smart buyers take these things into account before they even start looking at homes. But here's one thing that most people miss. Even if you get the budget right, you could still pick the wrong neighborhood based on how you measure distance. Okay, quick note before we move on. If you're thinking about moving to Las Vegas and you want help figuring out which neighborhoods are best for you, your budget, and lifestyle, I help families and professionals make the move every single day, and my contact info is listed in the description below. All right, so let's get back to it. Section 2. So what if I told you that two homes both exactly 12 miles from the Strip could have commute times that differ by 35 minutes? This is where a lot of people mess up when they move here. They look at the map, they see two homes that are the same distance from their job, and they think the commute will be exactly the same. But it may not be. Las Vegas is a valley where your commute is 100% going to determine on your access to a freeway, and not just how far away something is from your home. The I-15, US 95, and the I-215 freeways are our main routes. If you live in East Las Vegas or Green Valley and need to drive to the Southwest or Henderson, but don't have easy access to a freeway, you're gonna be stuck on surface streets for a lot longer than you would expect. Here's what I always tell my clients is you actually kind of wanna live pretty close to a freeway access point, period. If you're stuck driving through surface street to get to an on-ramp, your commute will be a lot longer, and it can really add up over time. I'm a little spoiled because most of the areas actually are pretty close to the freeway, but if I'm stuck in an area like some places in Green Valley or the East Side and I'm stuck driving surface streets, I feel incredibly frustrated because I feel like it takes so much longer to get anywhere, and a lot of the times you're even stuck crossing through the Strip to get places like Summerlin, which is going to add an extra 10 to 15 minutes to your commute, no doubt about it. So let's talk about the 215 freeway in Henderson for a second. That part of the freeway has traffic jams, especially between 4 to 6 p.m. on the weekdays. It's usually bad around St. Rose Parkway, Green Valley Parkway, and the Valley Verde exits. There's a project happening to widen this part of the freeway, but the construction is also going to cause delays from time to time. However, the western part of the 215 heading north is one of the dreamiest drives you can ever take in Las Vegas. The commute is just so smooth and it's very wide and open. So choosing a neighborhood with good access to freeways are going to make a lot of difference and save you a lot of time. And here's something else that you should know. The I-15 can get really backed up during major events. Now, sometimes it's not too bad, but we have seen a lot of congestion happening since addition of the Raiders stadiums, and all of these big A-list celebrities are starting to have their residencies here, and we've got hockey. So you just kind of want to plan around that time and know that you may need to add an extra 20 to 30 minutes to your commute during those peak hours. Weekend traffic on the I-15 between Southern California and Las Vegas can be crazy. Now, I'm not talking about the mouth of Las Vegas where you start to hit Southern Highlands. I'm talking about further out when you're heading back or to Las Vegas. I mean, most of us know it can take about 3.5 to 7 hours of travel. So if you're traveling back and forth from Las Vegas to California a lot, it is something that you're going to want to consider. I always advise hitting up very early mornings to avoid some of those crowds. Now, master plan communities like Summerlin are going to be a little bit different. They usually have access to freeways, and most of what you need, like shopping, healthcare, and dining, is going to be right inside of that community. That means you don't have to drive all over the valley as much, but you do need to watch out for roundabouts because they are seriously outlaid with them all over the place, and it can be a little nuts if you're not used to them. My advice is before you buy a house, make sure that you're close to at least one major freeway on-ramp. Figure out which freeway you'll want to use to get to your job or main activity, and check out if you're going to be going against or with the traffic flow. Speaking of those master plan communities, they also have a cost structure that most people don't fully understand until closing day, so I want to make sure that we cover that as well. All right, so section 3, HOAs, master plan communities, and what this all actually means for you. You're not going to avoid HOAs in Las Vegas, so the real question is whether you're going to use them smartly or just pay for them without thinking about it. Here's the deal. About 80% of homes in Las Vegas are in HOAs, and this includes Henderson too, as well as Summerlin actually. This isn't optional in most neighborhoods. It's just kind of how things are out here. It's the way they've always been done. Knowing the costs and the benefits from HOAs before you buy is definitely super important. Most HOAs cost somewhere between $30 to $100 a month, and this can be different depending on the neighborhoods and what the HOAs actually offer. So in big master plan communities like Summerlin or Inspirato or Sky Canyon, the costs are usually going to have a master plan HOA and a sub-HOA. The master plan fee is usually charged quarterly. For example, here's how Summerlin's fees break down for 2026. Summerlin North is $74 per month, up from $65 a month. Summerlin South is $76 per month, up from $67 a month. Summerlin West is $69 a month, up from $60 a month. And there's a community-wide fee of $37 a month, up from $7 a month. These increases are because of things like maintenance, utilities, labor, and park upkeep. On average, HOA fees in Las Vegas are going to be around $150 a month, which is a lot cheaper than similar communities in California where HOA fees can be as high as $600 a month. Now, here's why I actually like HOAs. Master plan communities usually historically do a better job of keeping property values steady or even increasing them. This is because they maintain things like landscaping, common areas, parks, and pools. It also helps that the community has a clear identity as well as all of those aforementioned amenities. Speaking of landscaping standards, there is something I'll bring up later about water conservation that'll show you why some HOAs are going to start charging even higher fees, so stick around. Now, in Summerlin, if the community is newer, homeowners will pay something called SIDs and LIDs. These stand for Special Improvement Districts and Local Improvement Districts. These fees cover big things like infrastructure, sidewalks, street lighting, sewers, water lines, and landscaping. Here's how SIDs and LIDs work. The total cost is divided up across all the homes in the district, and payments span between 10 and 20 years. The fee stays with the property and not the owner, so when you go to sell your home, this will be assumed with your future buyer. Even though some properties can hold an assessment of $12,000, the payments break down monthly and they're actually pretty small. For people who want to avoid HOAs, there are options in the city, but they can be harder to find. They're usually a little bit older, like say before the 1990s, and there are a few pockets of the city that do cater to such a need. You just have to know where to look. When it comes to master plan communities, it's gonna come down to making sure that your property value holds over the long run. Section 4, new construction is everywhere, but incentives require careful comparison. I saw an unrepresented buyer agree to a contract last week and just accept the first offer that the sales agent had given them. From what I was able to deduct, I believe that they ended up leaving almost $18,000 on the table because they didn't know what to ask for. Right now, there are some awesome incentives out there. They include interest rate reductions of 1 to 3 points, closing cost help from $5,000 to $15,000, free upgrades like really nice granite countertops or smart home packages, and high-end premium floor flooring upgrades, or more. You can even get an extended rate lock of 180 days instead of that usual 60 days. Here's the thing. Most builder incentives aren't posted online. You have to ask them directly. A lot of times, builders are going to say things like, "That's our best price," but there's often a lot more wiggle room than you would expect to negotiate. Now, here is a strategy tip from me to you. Communities that are in their first phase of development are going to be offering the lowest prices. As construction moves forward, the prices will appreciate. Early buyers can generally lock in that base price before the prices of the lot and the materials start to increase. Spec homes, or homes that are already built to be sold, are usually a lot easier to negotiate than homes that are built from the ground up. Builders have more motivation to sell these so that they can continue building in the neighborhood. And there's often a lot more flexibility on pricing than you would expect, but you do need to plan for the fact that a lot of the finishes are already going to be chosen. Firm dirt properties are not going to have as much wiggle room for negotiation on that base price, but you can still customize certain features. Just make sure to ask what you can negotiate, like design center upgrades versus what's firm, like prices on structural changes. Each builder is going to be completely different, and there's no hard, fast rule. But here's what I've been able to negotiate in the past. Appliances like refrigerators and dishwashers, window treatments and blinds, design center upgrades, closing cost assistance, interest rate reductions if you use the builder's lender, and the price of spec properties. What's usually not negotiable is that base price of the home. Builders rarely discount below the starting price of those lot premiums because they spread those costs across the entire community. Also, structural changes that aren't offered up front. Builders have set plans and they won't customize things like walls or rooms unless it's already a part of their plan. So here's my advice. You gotta ask the right questions. What are your current incentives? Do you have any spec homes that haven't sold yet? What would it take today to close by the end of the quarterly date? Are there any community incentives beyond the listed price? What's included in your standard warranties? These are questions that are often going to bring up deals that aren't mentioned in those online ads. And here's another thing. Work with an experienced new construction real estate agent. The builder sales agent has a fiduciary to the builder, which means they work for the builder and not you. An independent agent can help figure out what's negotiable and what's not. I've been able to negotiate tons for my buyers, and it all depends on the time of the year and how well that specific community is selling. Knowing how to negotiate is important, but timing is just as important. Let me show you where the best timing creates the best opportunities right now. Section 5 is Las Vegas is in a growth surge and neighborhoods develop at different speeds. Imagine driving into a neighborhood where every third lot is still dirt, construction crews are everywhere, and a home that sold 6 months ago for $500,000 is now listed at $650,000. That's Summerlin West right now. Las Vegas is growing fast, but not all neighborhoods develop at the same speed. Some areas are growing quickly while others are moving a little bit slower. Southwest Las Vegas is growing steadily because it has fewer zoning rules and easier approvals for building compared to places like Henderson and Summerlin. The commercial infrastructure growth in this area is happening faster than the residential development, which could be good for property values as that job demand starts to grow. West Henderson, including areas like Inspirata, saw a lot of growth in the mid-2020s, but it's starting to slow down a little bit as we enter 2026. Sky Canyon in the Northwest Valley started being built in 2017. All the homes there are Energy Star rated or newer, and the area is seeing a lot more commercial development and support for residents. This growth will continue as more stores, restaurants, and services open, which which could lead to more appreciation in property values. But let me tell you about Summerlin West. It's got something special going on. This place is really attractive to buyers, and builders are putting a lot of money into it. Neighborhoods like Urban Core, which has 3-story townhomes that were selling for around $500,000, are expected to hit $700,000 or more soon. Other neighborhoods like Veritex, Osprey Ridge, Viero, Quail Cove, and Esplanade at Summerlin are all seeing a lot of growth. Esplanade at Summerlin, for example, will have almost 400 homes by Taylor Morrison, with price ranges from $400,000 to $800,000 or more when sales start in the second quarter of 2026. So what makes Summerlin West so special? Well, it's perfect for families, professionals, and retirees alike, and it's really close to Red Rock Canyon, downtown Summerlin shopping and dining. Plus, the Strip is only about 12 miles away, which is about 17 minutes. The community is super well planned out, well maintained, and close to future luxury enclaves like Astra at La Madre Peak in the Red Rock area, which is starting at the base price of $1 to $2 million for just dirt. And they're expected to finish around that $20 to $30 million mark once they're done. So the thought is being close to this kind of development could help raise property values in the area. And it's getting better. Grand Park Summerlin newest village is set to be finished in the first half of 2026. This first phase will include baseball fields, pickleball and basketball courts, and a splash pad, plus playgrounds. More phases are planned, so the area will continue to grow with new amenities. Buying a property in the early phases in expanding, booming, growing neighborhoods like this could mean getting in at a lower price before everything is finished. You could benefit from the appreciation of new schools, commercial services, and roads that are added, plus a stronger community as the area becomes more established. As the neighborhood matures, property values are more likely to stay strong, which brings us to something that is shaping every neighborhood in the valley, no matter how fast it's growing. Section 6, water use, landscaping, and desert living require adjustment. There is a Nevada law starting in 2027 that will require the removal of non-functional turf. That's grass that isn't really used for playing on or relaxing. This includes grass in master plan communities, around artificial lakes and water features, and in grassy areas near sidewalks, parking lots that people can't get into. Think ornamental. However, you can still have functional grass in your front and backyard. So let me give you a real example. Spanish Trails, a super green neighborhood in southwest Las Vegas, is facing a monthly assessment fee to remove grass and replace it with desert landscaping and astroturf. This is happening in a lot of neighborhoods in the valley. Many places with a lot of grass will see similar fees increase in the next 2 to 3 years. So make sure that you budget for that possible monthly increase if the area that you like has a lot of grass. Understanding these changes can help you save a few dollars in the long run. However, as long as the assessments are broken down over a long-term period and you can pay them monthly, they should be pretty affordable. But from a personal perspective, honestly, keeping grass alive out here is kind of tough. It takes a lot of water and maintenance, so it's up to you to decide if it's worth it. Modern desert landscaping can look great and help save some water. Some desert plants that do well here include sage with beautiful purple flowers and brittle bush, which has these pretty round yellow flowers. Succulents and cacti like agave, golden barrel cactus, and apple cactus add a ton of beauty too. These plants need very little water, grow well in poor soil, and look interesting and stylish all year round. Many HOAs in Las Vegas have lists of approved plants and need you to submit the landscaping plan, so it's important to check in with them before making any of those big changes, especially in your front yard. Here's a helpful tip when it comes to water. Southern Nevada's Water Authority offers a rebate of up to $5 per square foot for residential properties converting grass into that desert landscaping for the first 10,000 square feet, then $2.50 per square foot thereafter. For Las Vegas Valley Water District customers, there's an additional $2 per square foot rebate, bringing that total to $7 per square foot for the first 10,000 square feet. This can really help lower the cost of changing your yard. But here's the thing I want you to be mindful of when using these rebates. It stays with the property as an easement. That means if you sell, the future buyer will not be able to add any water features, including a pool. To have these easements lifted, you are going to need to pay back those grants plus interest. So I generally recommend only doing this in the front yard and keeping the backyard open for the next buyer. Desert landscaping in general is super low maintenance and can be a lot cheaper to maintain than a yard with grass. The decisions you make before moving here, from understanding that April utility charge to picking the right neighborhood, are what will decide whether you thrive or struggle in this market. Las Vegas does tend to reward a little bit of preparation, and now you've got the inside info that most people don't get until it's too late. And if you're ready to start finding the right neighborhood that fits your budget and handles those changes in the right way, go ahead, shoot me an email at Kristin@YourLuxuryPro today. I help families make these decisions every day, all week, so don't miss out. I've also linked my video about 7 things that you absolutely need to know before moving to Henderson, including the desert realities and the community dynamic that nobody really warned you about. It's the perfect follow-up to what we just covered today, so don't skip it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.